Dearborn, Michigan.
Let's kind of recap what happened in Dearborn.
Let's nuke the Middle East.
Yeah, they're kicking the Christians out.
That lady was so full of That guy's a scumbag. That's the first time I've done a breaking and entering since I got my felony when I was 18.
He's a poser, and he's a
I thought this was called Friends with Davey, not Davey's a liar.
All right, I'm going to do an intro. Are we going?
Yeah.
Are we? Oh, we're rolling? All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this thing.
You still have the needle on the...
Oh, yeah. Get the needle off the table, Gary. Jesus Christ.
Needle off the table.
All right. Dearborn, Michigan is probably the most controversial city in America right now.
They're taking over our country. They want us all dead.
And I spent a week on location with Gary Faust, a.k.a. Street Gonzo. Gary, you look terrible, dude.
I feel great. Thanks for having me.
Hey, let's kind of recap what happened in Dearborn. But first, for people who don't really know what's going on in Dearborn, if you've been living under a stupid rock, Dearborn, Michigan is essentially the epicenter of the debate on whether, I guess, Islam is taking over America. It's over 50% Muslim. They have the largest mosque in the world located in Dearborn, or not in the world, in America, and the oldest.
Continuously operating.
Correct. Yeah, there's older mosques, but this is the oldest continuously operating mosque.
And there's not many that are older than that. But it is the first one that ever did the call to prayer, I believe.
Yeah,
correct?
first mosque to play the call to prayer over a loudspeaker.
Which is pretty cool.
Cool is one way to describe it, I guess. Dude, we had... I mean, that was one of the experiences. One of the first experiences we had when we got to Dearborn was hearing this crazy call to prayer, like out of nowhere, loud as shit, too. Okay, so that's one of the big controversies, right? That they're playing this call to prayer over loudspeakers in Dearborn. People are pissed off about it. They've gone in front of city council like, hey, this isn't what we should be doing right now. I shouldn't be woken up at 5:30 in the morning by a call to prayer. And, it's against city regulations. So these people have a right to be upset. They have a right to complain. But, local government's not doing anything about it. And quite honestly, if you question any of their decisions, they end up calling you an Islamophobic or racist and a bigot. There's a lot going on in Dearborn right now. It's all over social media. It's even on national news. There was the protest that just happened in Dearborn on November 18th.
The day after we left.
The day after we left, a bunch of people came in to protest Sharia law. That's the other big topic in Dearborn right now.
Yeah.
Is do we have a Sharia law situation? Is basically the same rules and laws that govern places like Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, Iran, are those being implemented in Dearborn as well? So people are protesting the call to prayer, Sharia law, and then there's the that street sign. That's what started it all, man. That kicked it all off.
Yep, that's what started it. The street sign that is named after someone who is a Hamas sympathizer.
Yeah.
Is it named after Osama Sablani?
Yeah, Osama Sablani.
Creator of the Arab American News. He's lived in the city of Dearborn, Michigan for
it's like the 70s.
Yeah, since 76, I think. And, people are upset about that because of the widely perceived notion that Hamas is a terrorist group.
Yeah.
Of course, the people within Hamas do not think that they are.
Nah, they're freedom fighters.
Yeah, it's the same thing. I was doing some research on the Hugo Chavez.
Yeah.
And, people's perception of what Venezuela was like when he took over. And, he was a military guy and all that. And I was thinking about the same thing. It's similar, actually, in that at the time, people were unhappy with the government. So he was looked at as a liberating figure. But when, Hamas does it, or when somebody like
Hezbollah?
Hezbollah, or there was the Macheteros in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
And they blew up a power station back in 1981. And they were considered a terrorist group as well. But nowadays, I think people would consider them a pro-independence group. My point is, I'm not sympathizing or siding with one side or the other, because the fact of the matter is, that it's two terror groups going at each other collectively. The IDF was created out of a terrorist organization as well.
Within Israel?
Yeah. Well, I don't know all the details. I forget the name. But do you look stuff up here? Mm-hmm. Can you look up the organization that turned into the IDF? My point is just that it's all perception.
Yeah.
So when we went up there, you said, hey, I want to bring you and Joel up here to make a documentary. We're really good at making documentaries. And I was talking to you about basically if we can go up there with a neutral perspective.
Right.
And when you have a neutral perspective, you're going to be able to get the truth.
Exactly, dude.
And
that was the whole goal. Let's find out what's actually going on in Dearborn, because we're hearing all this stuff. You got some people saying, oh, no, Dearborn's the best place in America. The quietest little city, peaceful unity. Everyone loves each other. There's no problems at all. And then you got the other people that are like, yeah, they're kicking the Christians out, you know? So it's these two extreme perspectives that we were hearing going in. So, yeah, I think it was important to maintain that objectivity.
Well, and the reason I say that is because I don't believe anything I see on the news.
Right.
At all. And when, God, excuse me, I've been chain smoking cigarettes ever since I got over pneumonia.
Oh, yeah.
I just...
That's exactly what you need to do when you're recovering from pneumonia.
It was
You're re-strengthening your lungs, dude.
Yeah. Building them up. Building them up! The news is painting it, you know, the right-wing news paints it as like this jihadi town where there's Sharia law and stuff like that.
Right.
And
which, to be fair, there were 2 FBI raids in 2025 alone. There was another, organized crime ring that got busted up. So, I mean, there has been a lot of
well, and we found something as well.
We also found a little nugget.
Did a little B&E action. Dude, that's the first time I've done a breaking and entering since I got my felony when I was 18.
It just feels so good, doesn't it?
12 years.
Makes you feel alive.
All I can think about since I've been back is breaking into abandoned buildings.
We actually broke into 2 abandoned buildings.
We did.
Yeah,
allegedly.
Theoretically. Yeah, thank you, Josh. Allegedly.
No, we did it.
All right, for legal reasons, all we did was walk in.
So the reason I was saying the thing about having an open mind and being neutral is obviously you're going to be able to find the truth better that way. But what's important is that you can see other perspectives.
Yeah.
So when we were there and we're talking to all these Muslim guys and they're saying things I wasn't expecting them to say. And
right.
they were quite honestly, the gentleman at the second mosque that you went to.
American Muslim Society? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The oldest one. He said something to me that I was shocked that he said
Yeah.
it. Talking about the white man's identity being taken from him. And when you hear somebody that's not white, or really not within any in-group, I guess you would call it, like if I knew some sort of social cultural identity problem that Muslims were having and I said it to their face, they'd be surprised as well. So my point is that I think that these people aren't as in a bubble as what the news is making it seem. Obviously, otherwise you wouldn't know anything outside of your own culture. So
that part of it was interesting because we heard a lot of stuff that we were not expecting to hear from different groups of people, right? And hearing from some of these Muslim guys, the gentleman you're talking about at the American Muslim Society. I mean, how much can you really believe? Are they putting best foot forward? Are they saying the stuff that you want to hear to distract, or is this, really honestly what they believe?
You think they're doing the ticky-tacky?
The tzatziki sauce?
Yeah, what's it called?
Tequila or whatever it is.
Hey, did you find out what that IDF terror group was?
Haganah? I thought that was an ice
might be
cream.
it,
Haganah?
yeah.
Isn't that a delicious ice cream?
Yeah, it was prior to the creation of Israel. I got another thing can you look up for me? The term for Muslims lying to spread their religion. It starts with a T.
Yeah, it's like Taqiya or something like that.
Something like that,
Taqqiyah or something like that.
Which I would honestly expect them to do and would think less of them if they didn't do that. If you're trying to spread your religion, that's basically the whole process is lying, right?
Well, that's the whole at the kind of foundation of what's created this huge debate is the people who say, well, Islam will never align with Western ideology. That's the argument.
That depends what kind of version of Western ideology you're talking about. Because one of my primary takeaways from what we experienced up there was that the Muslims sort of speak with their chest. They stand, 10 toes down, and they're not gonna really give any quarter. Whereas the Christians that we talk to, with the I don't want to make anybody sound bad, so I'm not going to name any names. But there might have been one or two people we talked to that don't fall into this category. But most of them were very, very selective.
Yes.
Of what they were saying.
Very careful.
Yeah, they didn't want to get canceled or fired or one of them, the person's kids. Were scared for their life if they spoke out, which is insane, and that speaks to the culture of fear that you were talking about the entire time we were there.
Yeah.
And anyways, to get back to what we were talking about, the assimilation thing with Western society, I think that if you compare the Muslims moving here or the ones that have been here for a handful of generations in Dearborn, for example, you compare them to your modern Christian, well, of course it's not gonna. If that's what you consider Western culture, of course it's not gonna assimilate. Yeah. It's the real liberal, modern, feminist version of Christianity, which is what Western society.
Someone call it pussified.
Yeah. Well, obviously. But if you were to compare the Muslims in Dearborn to 1940s Midwestern Ohio,
yeah.
That's how my grandparents were.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. We didn't interview everybody in the entire town, so I can't say for certain. But it was interesting.
It was surprising, dude.
Very.
It definitely was. And everything that we experienced there, I mean, from talking to some of the local politicians, that was one of the things that I thought was really interesting is how. Scared some of them seemed even. Some of the local politicians seemed really scared of the national attention that they were drawing.
You mean like Leslie?
Yeah, dude.
Who said that Dearborn is the example of what all of America should be like?
Yeah.
While their mayor's yelling at people?
Yeah.
And then off camera said something different?
Yeah.
She said she sympathized with what they were saying. I mean, that lady was so full of shit.
Well, that's politics, right?
Yeah, but that was an exceptional level. I've interviewed a lot of city council members, and I interviewed the mayor of Austin back in the day, Steve Adler, when it was still him. That guy's the most full of shit person I've ever interviewed.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's the same. It seems like on the local level as it is on the federal level. It's all just horse shit. By and large. Now, what I will say about the mayor, because a lot of the controversy started when this, local preacher, his name's Ted, right? He's not from Dearborn, but he's lived in Dearborn for like 7-8 years, something like that, right? And he's basically a missionary, but he's been in Dearborn for a while. And he went in front of the city council and expressed his concerns about this street in Dearborn being named after Osama Sablani, the guy that you were talking about, the Hamas sympathizer, the founder of the Arab American News, right? And the mayor told him, and this is in a public forum, I mean, he's standing in front of the city council saying, hey, I have some concerns about this. I don't know that this is appropriate to name the street after this guy. And the mayor says, you're Islamophobic, you're a racist, you're a bigot, you're not welcome in this city, and I will celebrate when you leave.
Now,
I'll throw a parade, actually, is what he said.
I just feel it's quite inappropriate.
You are an Islamophobe. And although you live here, I want you to know as mayor, you are not welcome here.
He didn't ever really recall those words, did he?
The mayor?
As far as we know?
He never, I mean, he hasn't addressed it. As far as I can tell, he hasn't addressed it at all.
I didn't think so either. And then he was very hesitant to talk to you. And the one time you did start talking to him, he almost answered and then, are you recording?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that guy's a scumbag.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's also standing on business. He's refusing to back down. He's not apologizing for what he said.
That's interesting you say that because that's correct. And that definitely supports my theory about the Muslims basically just don't give a fuck what other people have to say or how they feel, which I respect.
Well, I would
kind of the same way.
I would potentially respect it from this Mayor Hamoud guy if he said it, stood on business, and then continued to reinforce it.
Well, what I was gonna say was that a lot of the people that we interviewed, they were friendly. So if you're standing up for what your beliefs and your value system are, and you're a friendly person, and you're not trying to divide people or single someone out or isolate someone or be territorial in a city that's supposed to be everybody's, quite frankly, that lives there at least. Then yeah, there's no issue. But the mayor's a cocksucker.
Yeah,
he's a complete asshole.
Correct.
And like you said, he's a politician.
Exactly, dude.
But I mean, I don't know if that's any real reflection of Islam.
No, I don't think that has anything to do with the religious debate, if you will. I think that's more politics than anything else. But,
Dude, another thing you said earlier, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I haven't slept in quite some time, so if I don't say it, I'll forget. Christians being kicked out, you said that earlier?
Yeah.
I think that they're leaving.
Correct.
Because they're scared.
Yes.
Because they're not talking to other people. And that's a function of the division of the news apparatus that feeds narratives to keep people sort of in their own, clique.
I don't know if I could say that it's because they're not talking to people, just based on what we observed, right? I don't think Christians are leaving because there's a lack of communication. I do agree that...
No, I'm not saying they're leaving because of lack of communication. I'm saying they're leaving because they don't feel comfortable. Maybe scared was the wrong word. They don't feel comfortable in their own city.
Oh, I got you. Yeah. Oh, yeah. For sure, dude.
Absolutely. So what I'm saying is, the Christians are kind of pussies. That was what I was getting at, and I said that.
You think they should be fighting back?
Well, dude, I'm not saying that. That's what I was getting at when we first went up there. I was telling you I wasn't going to pick a side on this because of my journalistic integrity, but also the fact that I basically just want to. Yeah, journalistic integrity. I want to see what the real story is, because if I'm looking at it from the angle of the Christians are being persecuted, I'm a victim, and I'm not even going to go ahead and put myself fully into the Christian category, but I was raised Christian, so I'm going to, by proxy I am. But I'm not going to go in with that attitude, because then everything we see I'm going to think is some sort of invasion or attack or whatever. And that's sort of how the news conditions you to think. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like there's a litany of examples. They use race as something. There's religion, sexuality, whatever it is, and they want to make it. That's why everything's a two-item issue. So you're either on one side or the other. Mm-hmm. And if you're a fence rider, everybody hates you. Right. And then if you're on one of the other two sides, then you're intrinsically going to feel like a victim, because you think somebody else is coming to attack you. You know what I mean? Like, if you're, let's say you're a straight guy and there's all this gay shit all the time, and you're going to be like, well, they're fucking trying to make my kids gay. And if you're gay, you're going to be like, this straight guy's trying to suppress my sexuality. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening in Dearborn. Right. And the only reason that the Muslims are the ones that are essentially winning is because they have more kids.
Bingo.
And demographics and populations control democracies, and they have a lot of kids. They have multiple wives, and
they don't have multiple wives necessarily in Dearborn.
Well, maybe not in Dearborn. That's a good point, but just the religion as a whole. And I support it. I support the multiple wives part. And you think I'm joking?
I don't think you're joking. That's why I'm laughing, because we discussed this while we were in Dearborn. You kept challenging me like, well, why is it wrong? What's wrong with polygamy? There's nothing wrong with that, is there? I mean, there's nothing that says we can't do that. It's like, well, like strict moral standards maybe, but
Are you're gonna tell me about morals? Fucking hell, dude. I thought this was called Friends with Davey, not Davey's a fucking liar.
All right, dude. Let's get back to Dearborn, dude.
Okay, so anyways, my point about it was that the Muslims have more numbers there. And since they have more numbers, they're more confident in how they handle themselves and how they operate. And I think most of them we talked to were friendly. In fact, I would go as far to say that I almost think that I don't know what his title was at the American Muslim Society, but
Ibrahim, yeah.
Abraham?
Yeah.
I think he almost sympathized with white people. It was very, dude. I'm telling you, man, that was one of the most interesting things that I've ever heard somebody say in an interview.
Sure, he definitely was sympathizing with you, and you kind of have to wonder. Okay,
we didn't bring anything up.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
Just threw it out there. But was he trying to relate to you?
We were talking
because you're clearly this. You're clearly suffering from the male loneliness epidemic. You know,
dude. The reason I was late was because I was on. It's not a lie.
All right.
It was weird too.
That's a sad come.
No, we were talking about the pussification of America essentially, and he said that America's going soft, and you know his example that he used was rapists and murderers should get the death penalty.
Yep,
that's something that actual, old school conservatives
would agree with.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it. So look, when you say is Islam compatible with Western civilization? Western society, it depends how you define Western society. And if you define it by the liberal conservative dichotomy or by what it really probably should be defined by, which is like, liberty, pursuit of happiness, self-governance, stuff like that, then, well, no,
right.
It doesn't. If you're comparing it to something like Christianity, then you got to say, are we looking at modern Christianity where they have like these weird drag queens in churches and shit? Or are we looking at the old school version where, there was like corporal punishment and they believed in killing their enemies? Because if that's the case, then then it would be compatible to sort of an old school Christians.
Well, but we have like real examples of, Sharia law, right? And
like
whether
in the Middle East,
yeah, exactly.
Sure,
and you think about it, right, from more of like an existential, or not even existential, just like a geopolitical perspective, right? The people that are in Dearborn are coming to Dearborn because they are trying to escape war, poverty, oppression. I mean,
is that why?
In large part, yeah. I mean, so Dearborn, for instance, has this large Yemenis population, right? All these people came over from Yemen. Why did they come from Yemen? Well, ISIS got into Yemen and just started killing people.
And why did the Palestinian Christian come here?
Because he was also being persecuted. Yeah.
By Israel. So look, the point is, they're all bad. Let's nuke the Middle East.
Whoa, dude.
Whoa, dude. Cut it.
No, but you look at the examples of where they're coming from, right? And you say, okay, well, is that what we want America to look like? Do we want America to look like Yemen or Lebanon or Afghanistan or Iran or Saudi Arabia or Syria or Somalia?
So, playing devil's advocate again, because I totally understand what you're saying. If those people are escaping that, then there'd be no problem having them here because that means that they don't want that in the first place.
Theoretically. Right.
Or they're operating under the guise
of escaping.
Of taqiyya. Which is what it's called. That's the... Can you read that for us? Producer man?
The term taqiyya, an Arabic word for a concept in Islam that allows a Muslim to conceal their faith or religious identity to protect themselves from harm.
Yeah. Which, I'll get into that later. Go ahead.
No, I just was going to say that's also possible. I don't know how we would have proved that. We would have had to just keep going undercover. We'd have to change the way we look and shit.
We probably would have had to go to Yemen and Lebanon because that's where most of the population in Dearborn is from, is Yemen and Lebanon.
Right. And I also want to point something out. The 85% of world terror attacks that are Muslim related are committed by Sunni Muslims.
Correct.
Not the Shias.
That's correct.
And
a lot of Dearborn is Shia.
Well, I don't know about that.
I believe it's predominantly Shia, if I'm not mistaken.
Can you check that? The people that we spoke with were Shia. And
Predominantly,
they were very
yeah. friendly,
and they very much reminded me of basically a Middle Eastern version of like my grandpa.
Right.
It was
minus the robes and weird hats.
Yeah, they're kind of cool though.
You like the robes and weird hats?
Majority
Dude,
Shia.
we're losing Gary here.
Majority Shia. Okay, it is.
Yeah.
It is. Okay.
It also
I just
has a
wanted to make
substantial Sunni population, which is interesting. I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you of all the people we talked to how many of them were Shia versus Sunni. I'm assuming
they were. I asked a bunch of them.
Yeah,
they were mostly Shia.
I'm curious if the people that we saw like in full burqas were Shia or Sunni. That seems like more of a Sunni thing to me. There's the hijab, right? And I mean, not every female in Dearborn, but the overwhelming majority of the women that we saw in Dearborn were wearing hijabs.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something else. They were good looking.
Well, you couldn't tell, dude, because anyways.
It's left up to the imagination.
Yeah, but
that's why
that's not reliable, Gary.
Cover the women up.
That's why you go to strip clubs, which they have several of.
They do have strip clubs there too.
They do, yeah.
And they do not have Sharia law.
They don't have Sharia law. I think there are aspects of Sharia law that are implemented probably more on like a private level for sure.
Yes, because there were multiple women walking around covered head to toe.
Yeah, with just the eye slit, dude. That
is a crazy thing to see. But
yeah.
I think that well, I don't know. Can you say that how would you determine whether something like Sharia law would take place? I mean, we're not scholars. We haven't been to the Middle East.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think a lot of what, even when I was, because I told you like 10, I mean, I repeat myself a lot, but I was like a broken record about, hey, let's make sure we go in there with an open mind. Like,
yep.
And when I say open mind, I don't mean like the modern neoliberal version of an open mind. Like, oh, hey guys,
everything's fine. It's all cool. Yeah,
like be perceptive and
objective.
Yeah, exactly.
The Sharia law conversation, dude. No,
I'm just saying
no, they don't have Sharia law in Dearborn. But are there things that are happening in Dearborn that are religiously favored from an Islamic perspective? Abso-fucking-lutely.
Of course there are.
Yes.
But dude, that'd be like somebody getting upset about Muslims in Dearborn doing things the way that Muslims do it would be like someone getting upset at Christians in a farmer community for operating things in a Christian capacity.
Well,
okay. That's why it's about the demographics.
And I hear what you're saying there.
If somebody in a democracy, in a constitutional republic,
right,
where we vote democratically, they have a larger population.
Yep.
Then they are gonna get things their way. That's how it's a popularity contest.
But here's the difference, because the loudspeaker call to prayer, right, which is a massively hot button issue in Dearborn, that violates city ordinances. You're not even supposed to have speakers installed on the outsides of buildings like that.
Davey, you're talking to the wrong guy. I violate city ordinance all the time.
We actually violated city ordinances while we were in Dearborn.
I stole
that
this
jacket
while we were there. I got bed bugs when we were there.
Oh, dude, the bed bug situation was insane.
Yeah, that's the worst La Quinta I have ever stayed in. That's the worst hotel I've ever stayed in, ever.
First of all, you keep saying it was bed bugs. I'm not fully convinced that it was actually bed bugs, because I didn't get bed bugs. Joel didn't get bed bugs.
You weren't staying in the same room, and Joel's like dead inside. He's been asleep for 15 hours, dude.
Yeah, but we were in the same car.
Do you know why I know it was bed bugs? Because I've had bed bugs before. Number one. Number two.
Yeah, you also think you're immune to chlamydia.
I am.
Okay, dude.
It's two true things. I've had bed bugs, and I'm immune to chlamydia. And they bite you in rows.
Yeah.
Or rather, like...
Oh, I'll show pictures. I've got the pictures of the...
Are we popping pictures?
The supposed bed bug bites.
Davey got us he waited till the last second to do everything. He got us the shittiest La Quinta
shittiest La Quinta I've ever been in. And I have I'm covered in some crazy bed bug rash. And I'm a fucking bug man. It's a nightmare, dude.
I got a question. So if
Yeah.
a church rings a bell, the bell's heard everywhere.
Correct. It's not played over a loudspeaker. It's an actual bell.
Well, yeah, it's an actual
Yeah.
bell, but the noise is heard for miles.
It is. Yeah.
So this is our bell. Could they think in that manner?
That's
or-
what that's. I think
That's
some of
the
them
argument
felt
that's
that way,
being
yeah.
made.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, the 5:30 in the morning thing is fucking annoying. I get that, but dude, I live across the street from a school, and they have an intercom, and they're loud as fuck all the time. There's kids yelling all the time. And you know what I do? I throw rocks at them. No, I just
Gary from his front yard hurling rocks at children.
get off my lawn.
Not even your lawn. They're on school property.
Well, I just remember, like, you know, they're kids and they're gonna be loud and fucking. There's always gonna be trash in my yard because they're fucking dumbass kids and
Yeah.
they throw their trash on the ground. So I got to clean up trash out of my yard all the time, and that's part of living in a society.
Sure. I mean, you're not wrong about it. I'm just saying.
If I had a problem with something that a Muslim person was doing, but they weren't on my property, and I was choosing to live in an area where they were, what's the solution?
Yeah. I think, you know, this all comes back to free speech, right? The First Amendment protects religious expression. There will be no establishment of religion. People can express their religious preferences freely, right? And so I believe in that. So let them worship however they want to worship. Let them pray to whatever God they want to pray to. But there's also the aspect of American values, American identity.
I agree. And Joel said something to me. This was way before we even went out there. This was probably when the first time that I remembered seeing Dearborn in the news.
Okay.
Was when they did the call to prayer thing, and I saw footage of it on Instagram. And it was when I was working at Drinking Bros still, so it was probably a year ago. And I showed Joel, and I said, dude, this is fucking insane. Because when I first saw it, I sort of had the same reaction you did. I was like, that's out of control. You know, it looks like a fucking invasion on the internet.
Yeah. Soft takeover.
And you know, it very well could be. But, you know, is it a soft takeover where they're trying to, like, kill everybody? Or is it just a population shift? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, there were different strata of immigrants coming into the country at different times.
Sure.
And the populations ebb and flow, right?
Sure.
Like,
Oh, dude, hey, perfect example. You and I both went and volunteered during the flooding situation in the Hill Country, right? We stayed in Fredericksburg, which was, I mean, a completely German town in the, I believe, like the late 1800s, early 1900s, right?
And now it's all salsa.
It is, a lot of it. But the signs still have like German symbolism
Dude,
on
you
them
know
and
what's
stuff.
funny? Mexican culture actually has a lot of German influence in it. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like the accordion and
Oh, yeah, that's true.
There's a ton of stuff, dude.
Is salsa just cooler polka?
Tejano.
Tejano is?
Tejano music kicks ass, dude. Oh,
It-
you know
it
what? I
does.
like cumbia. Is that Mexican?
Cumbia's pretty
That's,
nice.
No.
I don't even know how the hell we got onto that.
Neither do I. Well, we were talking about, is it a population shift, right? Fredericksburg is an example of,
Dude,
that
look,
was a
I'm just
German
gonna, I'm
town.
going to tell you what is happening that Joel was saying, because I think he's right. When he said it to me originally, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's two things happening. Remind me of this in case I forget, because like I said, I haven't slept in days.
Yeah.
White people birth rate and jealousy. So what's happened is these Muslims are doing this call to prayer 5 times a day. They're saying it with their fucking nuts. They don't care
Right.
what other people say.
Yeah.
They're down to like scrap, literally. Those guys came to town and marched through their town, and somebody fucking socked that guy in the face.
Oh, yeah. Jake Lang caught one, dude.
Yeah. So when you see somebody that's upset about that,
Yeah.
it's very possible that they're upset because we don't play the national anthem anymore.
Right.
Or their church community is not as strong as the mosque community.
There's
So
someone
there's-
suing the Texas government to not display the 10 Commandments right now. You know?
So-
Like, that's what we're dealing with. Yeah.
So there's a level of jealousy involved with the fact that these communities are tight-knit.
Yeah.
And that will eventually dissipate because after 2 generations, a lot of these Muslim kids are going to be just like you and I. They're going to get Americanized and they're going to become mass drone mindless consumers
And we experienced some of that too.
that choose to be clowns for a living.
Did you just call me a clown?
Just nailed your ass.
Dude, I'm never going to recover. You just got me, dude.
What?
I'm blowing it.
So my point just is that there is definitely a level of, because when Joel said that to me, I thought it was kind of dumb what he was saying. I was like, what? And then I thought about it and I was like, yeah, I am kind of irritated that we're not playing the national anthem while they're playing that. But it's because they believe in it.
They're not going to let anyone tell them what to do, basically. Right?
Right.
They are, I mean, if there is a war happening in Dearborn right now, let's just say hypothetically, there is a war between believers and non-believers, right? Muslims and non-Muslims. Okay. The Muslims are winning that war if there is a war going on.
Spiritually, you mean?
Sure.
Yeah, for sure they are. And that goes back to what I was saying about the birth rates of you can put it into probably 2 categories, Christians, but more so, well, yeah, I mean, even like Mexican American birth rates are down too, and it man, that kind of stuff is concerning because that is, whether we like it or not. I mean, you were like born in a cult,
Yeah.
so maybe you really is your culture, but I have Catholic values, dude.
Yeah.
Intrinsically,
Catholics don't pull out, dude.
My
You know?
I am living proof of that. But my point was just that people aren't having kids.
Yeah.
And then they're complaining when they live in a democracy about how things are changing when they have let's say a barely a replacement birth rate.
Yep.
And then Muslims have 6 kids.
Yeah.
I mean, are you dumb?
That's
Or are these
just
people fucking stupid?
It's just demographics. It's simple demographics.
Yeah,
Truly.
I don't understand how you can be like a grown man, 45, 50 years old. Oh, the Muslims are doing this and doing that. You sound like a little bitch saying that. I'm being dead serious, not you. Just anybody that's like complaining about that. Well, yeah, I guess it is kind of you. You don't have kids. Well, I'm just saying it's a crazy thing to see people complaining about stuff in a democracy when the number one thing of value that you can have is votes. And the way you cultivate votes is by having children.
Sure.
What? Of course you're not going to get your way if you don't have kids.
Ibrahim at the American Muslim Society, he specifically talked about that. He asked me, like, why aren't you married? Why don't you have kids?
Yeah, he
I was
called
like,
you out.
God damn, dude.
He did,
I
yeah.
get it, bro. I'm a loser. Sorry, you know? I mean,
Well-
Gary's got a kid that he can't see, but, you know, it's whatever,
Well,
dude.
Funny you say that. I'm actually going to his basketball game when I'm out in LA.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah,
All right.
I could not believe.
Are you allowed to do that?
I could. Well, yeah. She said it was cool.
Oh, nice. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Temporary restraining order lifted.
No,
That's
I
cool.
never had a restraining order.
Oh, okay.
Just have 0 custody.
Yeah, his kid got taken away
Yeah,
from
that's
him.
why
Anyway.
I stopped fooling around with Latina women.
I mean, those are. I mean, if you want to have a bunch of kids, those are the ones to do it, dude. They really are.
Well,
Truly.
or Muslims apparently.
Yeah, that's where you get to the immigration and assimilation issue, right? Because with the South American population, people coming from Mexico and other countries down there, or Canada, let's say, or Europe, right? It's easy for them to blend in and assimilate because they don't have some of these extreme cultural differences in terms of like what they wear and who they worship, right? Those are the 2 main things that are differentiating all of the people from Yemen and Lebanon and even the Iraqis to a degree in Dearborn, right? They dress different and they worship a different God.
You know what's demonstrative of what you're saying, even more so, is when people complain about like illegal Mexican immigration or maybe South American, whatever. And yeah, illegal immigration is not good, obviously, but relative to what's going on in Europe, it's like there's massive social problems there.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Well, and
it's really bad.
So that's the other thing.
People
that,
are scared to talk about
yeah,
it.
dude. And
that's where I give credence to what you're saying about the Dearborn thing, because there was a culture of fear there, and people did not want to talk about certain things.
Yeah.
And that's basically a microcosm of what's going on in Europe, where it's fucking out of control. Stats are through the roof. Like, dude, sure, there's a fucking Mexican that jumps the fucking wall or whatever and a woman. It's not like in Europe.
No.
And quite frankly, the similarities in culture are so similar between a Catholic Mexican and me. I grew up Catholic, dude, and my fucking grandma had 15 brothers and sisters.
yeah.
Holy shit! I just realized I'm kind of like a Mexican. Well,
Or a Muslim.
My point was that what you're saying is it's totally true. The assimilation thing. I think you are right. It's just how comparable is the Europe situation to...
That's what people are really worried about, right? As they look at what's happening in London, they see these crime stats going through the roof, which we have verified, right? Everyone was trying to say, oh, no, the crime hasn't changed that much. The violent crimes are not a problem in Europe. Everyone's just blowing this out of proportion. No, the stats came out. Crime is way up, specifically in London, where this is the biggest problem, essentially, right?
Yeah, dude. Also, there's just the simple fact that these countries that are historically and have always, with the exception of like Spain and Italy, that were conquered by the Moors, they're white countries. They're European countries,
right?
And some of them are essentially no longer going to be based in their own history anymore. Right. I mean, obviously, that's not. Why would you want that? Doesn't make sense to me.
Dude, one of the things I will say about Dearborn that was weird is it did feel like you were entering a different country.
100%.
And that was bizarre. The first night that we were there, dude, we drive into Dearborn, and it's just it didn't feel like we were in America anymore. And it wasn't just because all the not the street signs, the billboards and shop business signs, whatever, are in Arabic. It's it's everyone. It's all the women that are wearing hijabs. It's even the men that are wearing robes and stuff.
And you hear the call to prayer.
And you're hearing the call to prayer.
They sell different kinds of food at the grocery store.
It's very, very strange. There's almost. I mean, Dearborn it's like 100,000 people in Dearborn. There's maybe like 2 or 3 bars in the city, plus the strip clubs, right? And it's because alcohol is haram.
Like that one Muslim kid we talked to. Well, he wasn't a kid. He was probably like 22 or 23. But he said, "We got to do my interview outside. I'm not supposed to be drinking."
Yeah, exactly.
See, and that dude, those people are scared to break their own. It goes back to the same thing, dude. Islam is a very like masculine religion. It's
dominant. I would say a dominant
maybe
religion.
That's well, I'd say it's masculine. They definitely cover up their women, and women don't really have rights.
You're saying it's like a patriarchal, misogynistic religion?
Yeah, which is funny because people complain that Christianity's like that. Which is, it's in its current form, it's not at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, branches or sects of Christianity that do stuff like that. Like, the Amish, for instance, all the women wear the little bonnets or whatever.
Well, Catholics used to make the women cover their heads with something too. It just wasn't as intense as...
I mean, the mosques...
Yeah, they have veils.
Yeah.
Well, look, Islam's 500 years behind Christianity. You got to remember that.
Yep.
In their evolution.
That's true. Because it didn't come around until 600 AD.
Well, if you don't make your wife come, your wife can divorce you in Islam.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah, if you don't wait, if you can't get her to orgasm, she can divorce you because the sex is bad.
That's not true, Josh.
Yeah, I'll look it up right now.
What?
That's why my first wife left me.
Jesus Christ, dude. In Islam, dude, that's crazy. In Islam, a wife has grounds for divorce if her husband consistently fails to provide sexual satisfaction, as it's considered a mutual right and a key purpose of marriage to keep both spouses chaste through, though communication, patience, and seeking medical help are first steps.
Dude, there's no way that's happening in like Saudi Arabia.
Can
idea.
a guy also divorce his wife if she's not blowing
Making him
him
bust.
enough?
Yeah.
See, I'm telling you, dude.
Dude, there's no way.
This is my.
No, no. We can't go on this tangent right now. Do we have to go on this tangent right now? We might have to go on this tangent right now.
It is obligatory on the husband to copulate with his wife once in 4 months, provided that he has no valid excuse. So basically, you get divorced if you're bad at sex.
You have to bang your wife once a quarter, at least. There is a quarterly bang that
bang.
must be fulfilled in Islam.
But they cannot deny sex. Women cannot deny sex.
Oh,
They don't have the right.
another plus for Islam.
So she's not allowed to deny. She has to let you bang her, but she could divorce you if you can't satisfy her, essentially. Whew.
The old catch-22.
Ooh, that's a toughie. That's a rock and a hard place.
That makes sense, especially if you're doing like
Hard
what's it called, arranged marriages. Never been with anybody. And just like,
Yeah,
this
true.
guy fucking sucks.
How would you know?
Yeah, that's true.
God damn, we're so far off topic.
Okay.
That's all right.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah.
Hey, that's
Hey,
cool.
All right.
Not a problem.
Sorry. We're getting carried away, dude. We're having a good time.
We're just having fun, dude.
So, we were talking about...
Dearborn.
I was giving you...
Oh,
I was trying to give you the...
all right.
So, we were talking about...
So the whole thing with Dearborn is it does feel like a foreign country,
Right.
right? But is that bad? I think that's really the question that has to be answered, because that's what people have a problem with, that you go to a place like Dearborn and you don't feel like you're still in America. Is that a problem? That's really what it all boils down to.
Is there anywhere else in America where you would feel like that? Chinatown in
Chinatown.
San Francisco definitely feels like that. And
But the food is so good.
I was in a... I
food
don't
was
remember
good in
where I
Dearborn,
was,
too.
but in somewhere... I think it was in Mississippi. It kind of felt like another country. You got some like real poor... And I imagine Appalachia's like that, too.
Sure.
But there's parts of Mississippi that's like just ghetto and like
Yeah.
super, super, super poor and super black. And you're like, dude, am I even... where am I?
Yeah,
And I bet you that's what Appalachia feels like too,
probably. Yeah.
where it's just hillbillies for everywhere,
Yeah.
miles.
I mean, we went to
I
eat.
think Dearborn's an extreme version, though. I'm playing devil's advocate
Sure.
here today a little bit, as I did while we were there, because I want to make sure that we get the full breadth of what the scope on this is.
Yeah.
Do I think that it feels like a different country? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think that that's a bad thing in its current, like how it exists currently? I mean, the mayor's talking shit to people. That's not good, and people are scared. Is that because of the government officials there, or is it because of some of our preconceived notions? You know, post 9/11. I mean, we've been at war in the Middle East for like 40 years.
Yep.
For no real reason, and you know, if you were from the Middle East and you were getting your family members were getting blown up, you probably would be feeling a certain way about it. And I mean, most of the people in the military now that went to those wars were like, "Damn, that was a waste of time." So that was, I mean, I think that people maybe are a little bit more on the same page than we're realizing in terms of, you know, maybe we just try to start getting along. That's how I kind of felt when we were there. I didn't feel any real animosity, and I don't think anybody was really trying to do the tequila on us. I mean, I think the dude at the mosque was trying to convert me.
Probably.
For sure. Well,
Yeah.
that's what
He
they
thought you
do.
were weak, dude.
No, he thought you were weak because you don't have a kid.
No. He thought you were weak.
No, he thought
and he
you
could
were weak.
convince you a lot easier, dude. Don't try to turn this on me, Gary.
No, dude, he tried to use my white identity against me.
He did, dude.
And
He
it
knew how to
worked
get
pretty
you,
well.
dude. He
I was
got
like,
you.
you're right. The white man doesn't have an identity anymore.
I'm telling. He got you, dude. He's Zeke you.
And then I disavowed my Mexican son and my little brother.
Your black little brother.
I joined the Aryan Brotherhood and started selling meth with the bikers.
Holy hell, dude.
There was a biker bar there, dude. Or
A
somebody told us
motorcycle club.
It was an actual clubhouse, and we thought it was a bar.
Yeah.
So we walked up and we're like, "Hey, is the bar open?" And the guy looked at us like he was gonna fucking blow us away.
Yeah.
It was, in hindsight, probably the most dangerous thing we did.
Yeah.
Well, other than the other thing we did.
Oh, okay. So let's go through the things that we did now that we've got
Wait.
all this out of the way.
Hold on. When you're talking about, I want your opinion on it because I keep cutting you off about the. Does it feel like a different country? What's your take on is it good or bad that it feels different?
I mean, we live in America. I don't have a problem, with Chinatowns and Little Italies. I don't have an issue with that. But I also don't think that those enclaves, if you will, are trying to exert political influence. I don't think that they are trying to subjugate anyone with their ideology in, Chinatown or Little Italy.
You feel like that about Islam?
I feel like that about Dearborn. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's largely because of
Mayor Hamoud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now that's interesting because he did get reelected.
He did.
After that happened.
After he told someone that he would celebrate when they left and that he was not welcome in their town.
The day you move out of the city will be the day that I launch a parade celebrating the fact that you moved out of the city.
Yeah. He got reelected after making that incendiary statement.
I'm just kind of, the thing about Dearborn to me isn't even, it's almost not even about the Islam or the religious angle. It's almost that I'm worried that the United States is going to devolve into tribalism. And I think it's already kind of happening. I mean, you look at how people are starting to get like racial again. Dude, when I was a kid, do you guys feel like things were less racial?
Absolutely.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
More outwardly racial, but usually in a softer tone. And now, this one guy that I saw online.
Nick Fuentes?
No, he's super liberal guy. And he goes, it's our fault they're like this because you told 15, 14-year-old white kids that they were the devil. And they were like, what the fuck? I didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've turned into the Nick Fuentes
Mm-hmm.
of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty. Who said that?
Was it Hassan Piker?
No, it was just some dude on Instagram, but he had a good point about it, just saying like you pushed him to the other side.
Well, yeah, dude.
That is what's happened, dude.
Well, think about this too. So this guy, when we were there, this dude, Ibrahim, he was the dude that was basically running this mosque, and we were talking about a bunch of stuff, and I asked him what he thought about the culture of Christianity, because I have no problem with Christians at all, whatsoever, but I do think that the culture of that religion is currently very weak. And when I was asking him about, hey, what do you think about that? He was saying that he thinks that just America in general is just kind of getting soft. And and following up on that, for some reason, he said, I also think, and this is, I believe, is a quote, it feels like there's a force at play in the United States that's preventing the white man from having an identity. And what you just said is essentially what that is. It's the subversion of being proud of basically having European heritage or German or Irish or Italian or whatever, and instead being told you're like this white devil, and that becomes your identity. It's not that these people are being pushed to the other side. It's that they're being conditioned to be the other side. It's honestly, I get the vibe that a lot of that stuff is happening in schools, and I think I go conspiratorial, obviously, but I think it's happening on purpose. I think they want people to be divided, and the easiest one to do that with is race, for sure.
Yeah.
Other than maybe gender, but
sexual identity. Yeah.
That's like a totally different thing. I think the same thing's happening with the Muslims in Dearborn. They're being like in the news. They're being like
Vilified?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they're going to become terrorists.
Right.
It's literally when you say all these white kids are fucking evil and they're racist, and then they grow up to become racist, and they're like, you know, pushing like, you know, white nationalism or whatever. If you do that same thing, just not through school but through the news to Muslims, and you're like, they're all terrorists.
You're going to
Well,
radicalize them.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
That's
been my
Anyway.
issue with Jake Lang, right? He goes in there, he's slapping the Quran with bacon, he's causing a scene, not making any kind of real statement whatsoever other than just no Sharia law in America, which is ridiculous anyway, right? But all that Jake Lang succeeded in doing most likely was radicalizing a bunch of, you know, Dearborn youth.
Yeah.
And you saw it happening in real time where they're attacking him, where they're screaming Allah Akbar, right?
Yeah. And do you blame him?
No,
That
dude.
dude came into their town. He's not even
Like
from
an idiot.
there.
No, dude. And he's not. Jake Lang has so many issues. That guy, first of all, is a fake. He's a poser, and he's a pussy. And a lot of other things, but those three things primarily, dude. That guy can, yeah. Honestly, if we're gonna deport anyone, deport people like Jake Lang. That guy's a just insufferable dude.
It's almost like they. I kind of think he's a plant too. It's almost like the forces that be were able to get an agent provocateur to actually lead the protest, as opposed to just having one in the protest, you know, to dismantle it, like what they did. You remember those protests at Wall Street?
Yeah, the Occupy Wall Street.
That was pretty. There were a lot of agent provocateurs there. January 6th, there were like 180 FBI agents in the crowd.
No, it was
Anyways,
a CIA person that built the pipe bombs for January 6th.
She ended up working for the CIA.
Unbelievable, dude. Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're done with this now, right? So we can talk about the experiences that we had in Dearborn, dude. Can we do that real quick?
Look, I don't know if you've heard about this thing called MK Ultra.
Have you heard of the Hannibal Directive?
The safe house, yeah. The guy that
Wait,
said,
no, let's restart it because I'm just gonna I'm gonna have to chop between like segments that we're doing right now. So I want to start it over, Gary.
Oh,
you fucked it up.
You're doing a hard reset.
Yeah, we're doing a hard reset.
Okay.
There we go. All right. Okay. So we had a lot of different. Fuck you, dude. All right. So we saw a lot of crazy stuff in Dearborn. One of the craziest, in my opinion, was the tip that we got from that old guy about the safe house where supposedly jihadi activity was happening.
It was a triangular building with a tall wooden fence.
That's right.
And he drew me a map of it.
Yeah.
And told me that it was a safe house.
Well, he drew me the map, dude. You were off doing God knows what at that point. Yeah. Yeah, I think you were eating
I had
pizza.
the map in my hand.
Yeah, I gave it to you.
Well, that's possible.
Yeah, you were eating pizza at the John Birch Society meeting.
Oh, dude, you might want to bleep that because if those, well, without giving away what happened, whoever's behind that building, if they find out that that's the guy who exposed their spot, they might go blow his head off. You know, maybe bleep John Birch Society.
Maybe we just say it again, dude. Maybe we double down. So yeah, he gives us this tip, right?
You're gonna get that guy killed.
Nah, he's gonna be fine.
I mean, that was some serious shit we found in there.
It was some very serious shit.
That's no joke, dude.
Dude, you're right. It's not. I shouldn't be laughing.
I mean,
about
that guy probably has kids. You know.
Yeah,
Like,
he's probably doing his civic duty and having kids.
You want to take somebody's father from them?
I don't. Yeah, you blurred his face in the clip. I did.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it was the guy at the John Birch Society.
So he gives us this tip, draws us this map, right? And most people, normal people would be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Maybe we should call the cops or something. Maybe we should, ask around about it. But you and I are just like, no, let's go stake it out.
Dude, normal people would be like, this guy's insane. And walk away. And we were like, we're breaking in.
Yeah, we should go. Dude, you even hear in the footage that we have, he's like, yeah, you guys should stay away from there. And we're like, we're going straight there.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we're going. So we did, dude. We went and staked that building out for like 6 hours. And there was a lot of weird stuff going on while we were there staking it out.
Now, I will say this. I think that maybe we thought there was a lot of weird things going on because we were committing a crime.
That's true.
So
no, dude, there was just some weird stuff happening. Period. I'm not saying all of it was weird, but we saw a car drive through parking lots back and forth 3 times. What's going on with that? There was some weird stuff that happened during the stakeout.
That one house was a drug dealer for sure.
There was one house located close by.
I think
that was
that's
a drug
why
dealer.
it all felt weird because we were our stakeout spot was next to the neighborhood drug dealer.
Yeah, that could have had something to do with it. But it was also the safe house, this triangle building, was also directly next to a mosque.
Yes.
And it was one of the mosques that blasted the call to prayer.
Yes, and also it is worth noting that the guy that gave us that tip did say that he had seen Arab men bringing stuff in and out of that building.
Correct.
Which, given what we
ultimately discovered, makes a lot of sense, dude.
Well, dude, if you're right about your theory about what's going on there.
No spoiler alerts, by the way, here, Gary.
I know. I don't want you to do a hard reset again.
Yeah, thanks.
If you're right about that, and I'm not saying you're wrong, that is wild.
Yeah.
Your theory, but there's not really any way we can.
There's no way to prove my theory that we have about this safe house, but I think there are a lot of there was additional intel that we gathered.
How do we talk about yeah, that's true.
There was additional intel that we gathered that supports the theory that I had.
Well, how do we talk about this without
giving it away?
Without giving it away, but also without people being like, "What the fuck are they talking about?"
Well, I think
there was definitely we've definitely found some shit in there that was definitely not legal.
Absolutely.
And it's there could be a.
Can I guess?
No.
Yeah.
No, don't let him guess.
Guess.
No, dude. Chill out over there, Josh.
I mean,
we ultimately broke into the building.
We can do a hard reset if he guesses it.
Hard reset is going to be the catchphrase.
I want to see if we get.
All right, guess, Josh.
Is it trafficking? Child trafficking?
Oh,
dude.
Hard reset, dude. We're hard resetting right now. I'll tell you after.
Okay.
So we staked this building out for 6 hours before we finally decided it's time, right? And the interesting thing was, originally the plan was we were both going to jump the fence, but we found a secret entrance in the back.
Right.
So we essentially, we surrounded this building, dude.
What? Were you going to make a sexual innuendo?
Okay. Yeah, we entered from the front and the back, yeah.
So I had the night vision camera.
Right.
And you went around the front, you climbed the fence, and you had found this secret fence hole.
Yeah.
Secret back entrance, which definitely was like a
lookout spot.
An actual secret entrance because there was a chair there and everything.
Which was directly facing the mosque, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the mosque was like right there.
Yeah, and the whole reason you found it was because there was this Arab guy walking back there. And mind you, this is at like 11 p.m.
Oh, dude, it was later than that at this point, wasn't it? It was like midnight by now. That was at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because we broke into it at like 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why I said when I saw him, I was like, dude, go follow. So you went back there and you were like, oh my dude, I found the secret entrance. And I was like, well, this is getting weirder. And that's when you found that, I was like, what? And you had footage on your phone maybe, and you showed us.
Yeah.
And I couldn't really tell what it was. And I was like, dude, Davey's like fucking losing his mind. And because we'd been staking this thing out for like 6 hours.
And Gary you were kind of convinced that nothing was really going on at first. At first, you thought like, nah, this is just an abandoned building. There's nothing going on in here. And then as the night progressed and we saw weirder and weirder stuff, and then when I found that secret back entrance, that's when Gary was like, oh God, there's something happening.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, and also there was that biker club
Yeah, dude.
down the street. Which so like, look, dude, when we went there, we staked it out in one spot, and funny enough, there were cameras all over the front of this building. And the first time we staked it out, we pulled up to the front of the building, so we were right there on camera.
Yeah.
And we get out, and he's not wearing gloves and
Nothing.
We got paranoid because he's touched the door, and we're like, well, dude, they're gonna fucking dust for fingerprints. It's the classic thing you do when you're committing a crime.
It really was Keystone Cops the first time.
Yeah, and you fuck up the crime, and then you're like, oh, we got to go back and wipe the fingerprints. But after we left, because we watched it for a while, we split and we saw the biker clubhouse, and we thought it was a bar.
Yeah.
Because the same guy that gave us the tip about the this jihadi safe house, alleged, was. He told us there was this biker bar there, and he's like, "You can't go there." That guy was so scared of everything. And so we went, and then that guy was going to kill us if we would have gone there.
It was not a bar. It was a private motorcycle gang club.
It was a
It was a
clubhouse.
clubhouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, where they go hang out and, do whatever.
Well, they probably just gang all the same women. I think that's what they do there.
Yeah, it's probably like that's where they make their strategic plans and stuff like that. I've been in one of those before, so yeah. But anyways,
we saw that, and those guys were definitely criminals and hardened criminals, not like us. We're softened criminals. And so
flaccid criminals.
Given that was down the street, there's a biker clubhouse down the street. We're in a really poor part of town. There was definitely a guy selling weed or something at the corner house, and then there's a mosque behind it, and it's all at this triangular building that this guy's saying is a jihadi safe house, and we're like, oh fuck, there's definitely gonna be something in there, dude. We started realizing that, and there were cars back there too.
Yep.
And you got to realize that there was a blight notice on the door, and all the windows were foiled out. They weren't
Not boarded up, dude.
They weren't boarded up. They were foiled out, and there was a blight notice, which the city will put tinfoil or not tinfoil. What's that shit?
Plywood?
No, they'll put that. It's not tinfoil. It's a type of foil. They'll do that to windows when there's a blight, but it's not common.
Yeah.
And every other abandoned building that we'd seen was boarded up. But that was another kind of dead giveaway that something was in there. And then we went inside.
Dude, how did you feel when we were walking in that door?
As cool as a cucumber, Davey. But you know what? I was also trying not to laugh because your fucking phone. He was using the light on his phone because I had the night vision camera, so I was going to be behind him so I could get the footage of him moving around. And his fucking lock screen is his naked girlfriend.
Sure, wait, hold up. let's just go ahead and get a close up of that real quick. Josh, can you do that? Can we see that on the camera?
Yep.
All right. That's it. That's the lock screen. Yeah, dude. So he's like,
So
is that your girlfriend's butt? And I'm like, dude, focus.
Oh yeah, and check this out too. So the downstairs door was locked, and I checked the windows.
Yeah.
I was pretty determined to get in there. But we gave ourselves a what was it?
5 minute max.
5 minute time limit, which we
Doubled.
yeah. I was getting carried
Joel
away.
was kind of freaking out, dude.
I mean, Joel knows I'm
A maniac.
I'm a criminal.
Yeah.
It was funny though because when we were in there, you're like, dude, it's been like 7 minutes. We got to get going. And I was like, yeah, let's hang out.
Nah, we're good, dude.
I was fucking. I felt right at home. But the point is, we had to go up the stairs there was another door upstairs, and I found it, and we went in through that door, and so we had to go. This place was like beat the fuck up on the inside,
Yeah.
and the outside for that matter. But we had to go downstairs, so it kind of built the feeling of being trapped,
Yeah.
because we knew we couldn't escape out of the front
Yeah,
door. We had to
dude.
go back up the stairs. So if somebody came in after us, and there was a bunch of weird shit in there too, even on the top
dude.
floor. So we, dude, for a split second, I thought, man, this would be a place where somebody would like kidnap kids and like chain them to the ceiling and like mutilate
There were
them or
literally chains hanging from the ceiling in one of the rooms, dude. As hard as my adrenaline was pumping, and as excited as I was, and we had no idea of knowing what was going to be in this building, right? No idea. And we both just straight in, dude. No hesitation, no questioning of it. Just, yeah, we're going to go in this building.
I was pretty convinced there was nobody in there because we'd been sitting outside for so long.
Yeah, well, I was not at all, dude. I was not. So it was that was definitely. I think for a person with normal rational thought, that would have been an absolutely terrifying experience. But for me and Gary, it was just another day doing crimes, I guess.
Dude, what else did we do while we were out there?
One of the interesting experiences that I had there was I went by myself to the largest mosque in North America, which is right there in Dearborn on one of the main strips. And, I went with a hidden camera on, and my goal was just to try to talk to one of the clerics or an imam or something along those lines, dude. And I ended up getting to talk to one of his name was Sheikh Mohammed, and he's one of their main guys. And that was really interesting by itself. Yeah, there's just some spit in the bottom of that, Gary. Feel free to help yourself.
You got an energy drink or anything, man?
No.
Shit, all right.
The other really crazy thing was going to that house that got raided by the FBI and talking to all the neighbors.
And how nobody knew anything.
That was bizarre.
Yeah, that was kind of
I talked to at least 5 people out there. And literally their neighbor directly across the street, the neighbor directly next to him, everyone said, yeah, we don't really know what happened. In fact, the next door neighbor said, we didn't even ask what happened. I don't know what happened. We didn't ask. Almost like that was the decision that had been made. Like, if anyone asks,
we're not going to talk about this.
We don't know what's going on, and we're not going to say shit.
You know, another thing that happened was we got kicked out of a church.
Oh, dude, that's right. That goes back to the culture of fear that you were talking about that I kept mentioning while we were on location, dude. Yeah, we went to interview a guy at a church, and the administrator of the church was so scared about like what we were going to be discussing that she was like, yeah, y'all can't do that here. Y'all can't be in this church building. Christian church.
Right, but
doing
the
an interview.
lady that was there worked with some of the Muslim population in the town, and I think she was a little paranoid of ruffling feathers.
I think ruffling feathers, but also attracting negative attention.
That's what I mean, yeah.
Oh, okay. I meant like violent attention.
Was there a lot of... I guess that's something we didn't really ask people.
What kind of violence have you experienced or seen?
Yeah, it was all the fear of violence.
I don't think anyone was willing to talk about it, dude.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, we did. I guess we did talk to some people about...
Well, because here's part of the problem. And this has been celebrated in Dearborn by the police chief, who was, I believe, appointed by Mayor Hammoud, or maybe he was elected, I don't know. But Mayor Hammoud, he's a Muslim. The chief of police in Dearborn, also a Muslim, and did a press conference celebrating that basically half the police force is now also Muslim. And so I think that there is absolutely a fear of reprisal or retribution, whatever you want to call it, from some of the Christians in Dearborn.
Like a chilling effect on speech.
Very much so, dude. And I think that a lot of people feel like they can peacefully coexist as long as they keep their mouth shut.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the people we talked to that weren't Muslim felt that way for sure.
Absolutely.
But what's their alternative?
I think that's part of the problem that I have. You're kind of trapped, and it goes back to what you were saying earlier, where we heard from a couple different people. Yeah, Christians are just moving out of Dearborn because of all the negative attention, but I think also probably just because of the general environment there.
Yeah, it's hard to say. There's no way I can definitively say that. Let me put it this way. The only time we were there that I felt fear, the entire time we were in Dearborn, the only time I was kind of scared was when we first got there.
Yeah.
And the cops pulled up behind us.
Yeah.
And I thought they were pulling us over, but they were going past us. And I remember thinking, this is probably what it feels like to be a black guy in a white neighborhood. You know, like the police are not of the same demographic that you are, so you might be treated differently, subjugated.
Oh, well, we heard a story about that exact scenario from our guy Justin, dude, where he got pulled over, you know, kind of misunderstood what was happening and told the cop that pulled him over in Dearborn, hey, I'm a Christian. And the cop was like, well, I'm Muslim and I need you to step out of the car. And then he was, you know, detained or whatever, like, you know, that guy that pulled him over turned out to later become the chief of police. I mean,
yeah, that's sort of discriminatory
a little bit
to declare your religion while you're pulling someone out of their car. I'm a Muslim. What the hell? But also, it's kind of weird to declare that you're a Christian to the cops.
Yeah, I mean, he was basically trying to, you know, let the cop know, like, hey, we're not trying to cause any problems or anything like that. And he probably misspoke in that moment, but yeah, for the cop to then be like, well, now I need you to step out of the car because I'm a Muslim and I don't appreciate you assuming anything.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know, dude. When that cop car was behind us, I think we all had the exact same thought. If we get pulled over, we're going to jail.
That was when we first got there, though.
Yeah.
And
right after we'd driven through
all the
Arabic signs and everything in that oldest mosque in America.
You feel like you're in a faraway land.
Yeah.
But by the time we left, we had gone to that mosque, and I mean, dude, we just walked in there.
Yeah.
With cameras on us that weren't really necessarily hidden very well.
No.
So those people knew we had cameras, I guess. So maybe they were behaving differently, but they were friendly.
Yeah. No, they actually were very welcoming. They brought us bottles of water, brought out some chairs so we could sit and watch the prayer service or whatever, which was definitely odd. But I think it's, once again, the prayer service was weird because it's not what you or I would ever be used to.
I mean, it just reminded me of a different iteration of
Catholicism?
a regular church.
Catholicism, because they do the kneeling and, you know, standing up and whatever.
That's not a Christian thing?
No.
Really?
No. Not evangelical or Protestant or whatever you want to call it. Yeah. No.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess I never really thought
But
about
I mean,
that.
these guys, I mean,
They answered all the questions we had for them, though.
They did.
Every single thing that we asked.
The other interesting thing about that mosque, dude, was that, and I don't know if this is true for all mosques, I'm assuming it is, but there were separate entrances for the men and women.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The men had to go in the front entrance, and then the women had this weird little side entrance that they had to go into, and they were separated the entire time.
You know what they were separated the whole time, huh? You know what that reminds me of is the pride flags was it in Hamtramck? So check this out, dude. There were pride flags up on city property in one of the neighboring cities to Dearborn, and like all the liberals basically elected a Muslim, and then the Muslim guy was like, "Yeah, we're taking these down." And they got mad about it.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
Yeah.
That's why when people are talking about, I mean, I'm kind of a broken record, I guess, but when people are talking about these Muslims and they're doing their calls to prayer and they're wearing their gowns, the burqas, and there's Sharia law, it's like, well, what else would you expect to happen? But I also do think that'll generationally phase out. I don't think it's going to stay that long because it's America, dude. The power of the dollar in America supersedes any religious ideology on earth. That's why people come here for opportunity. And then we replace their God with money and hollow out their soul.
You know what the other interesting thing about all this is that Dearborn is not an isolated incident, if you will. I mean, we see this same pattern happening in Minneapolis, Minnesota. We see it happening in Paterson, New Jersey. I mean, it's Epic City here in Texas, dude. I mean, it's Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world. It's not the biggest religion in the world. Christianity is considered the largest religion in the world, but Islam is the fastest growing religion in the world, and it all goes back to your point about demographics, Gary. it is because they are reproducing at, I mean, a rate that is higher than anyone else. So naturally, that is going to be the outcome.
You know, unrelated, but I think it's interesting too that the city of Dearborn largely voted Trump.
They did.
That's and Trump was at one point in time he was doing a Muslim ban or something. Is that accurate?
No.
You know what I'm talking about?
He hasn't done a Muslim ban or even a Sharia law ban per se. He's definitely hinted at that, though. I mean, he classified the Muslim Brotherhood as a terrorist organization, right?
I thought it was something to do with if you were trying to come into this country. It wasn't if you're from a Muslim country.
Or a third world country is what he said, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think anything's actually been finalized on that yet.
No,
but
no,
he
I'm
has
talking
definitely
about
hinted at it.
like 6 years ago. You know what I'm talking about, dude? I think there was a point in time where there was a temporary hold on immigration from
Muslim countries.
And,
Yeah.
and the news, I'm not saying he was calling it a Muslim ban, but the news was referring to it as a Muslim ban, which is, once again, the news apparatus with advertisers and...
Propagandize any situation.
yeah, because they're answering... Look, the news has goals. They have, bottom lines to meet, and... whether those be with advertisers financially or clicks or whatever it is, they want to make money and they want to control people. And the easiest way to do both of those things is to scare people and divide them.
Yeah.
So to call something like that a Muslim ban that's a scary way to explain something.
So 7 days at Dearborn. We learned a lot. We experienced a lot. Had some pretty crazy encounters. But I really don't think it was what either of us expected. It certainly wasn't what I expected. And I'm excited for this documentary to come out because I think people are going to be surprised. Surprised to see what we found. Because it does not align with what you're seeing on social media. It doesn't align with what you're seeing on the news. And I think it's important for people to understand what is
this
actually
city is
happening.
actually like. Yeah.
Yeah.
And think about what you see on social media. All you see is the Jake Lang protest. You see
Yeah.
people with bacon on them. You see a march where everybody's covered up, and everything's all inflammatory. And again, I know I'm a broken record, but I'm a journalist and I do news for a living, and the news does that on purpose. It's all by design.
It's propaganda, dude.
Yeah, it is. And that's why what we do is important because we're basically, I've never seen any footage of someone using a hidden camera and infiltrating a mosque or breaking into a building for that matter and posting it.
But we're thinking late December, early January that this will come out. We're still, kind of finalizing funding on this too.
Yeah.
We definitely need your support. We'll post more about how you can financially support us finishing up this documentary because these things are expensive to make too.
Yeah, they really are, and they take a while too. The other thing I was going to say was, I would say soft deadline is before Christmas, hard deadline is before New Year's.
Okay.
I don't want to wait until January to put it out.
People need to know.
Well, yeah, if we want to try to ride the news cycle with this, I think it'd be the sooner the better. And
well, I think it's even less about riding the news cycle, dude. It's more about like stop letting people distort reality. You know what I mean? Because that's what's happening right now.
like in terms of what the news is putting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. But also, the most effective way to do that is to just get it out quick so that it is in tandem with what's in the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that was definitely an interesting experience. It's a lot of stuff I wasn't expecting, and most of it actually positive, which I think anybody that is unfamiliar with the religion or the people is going to probably have a new perspective on it.
Absolutely.
Because you're getting a more intimate it's not formal. We didn't key it. It's not a key interview. We didn't sit down with the imam and talk to him.
And we didn't go in as agitators.
Yeah, that's what I think the most
know?
important thing was. It was funny too because your original idea was to wear a
rainbow hijab, yeah.
and try to convince everybody to sign a petition to let you have a gay parade. Which,
Yeah.
I mean, that never would have worked, dude.
No, dude. I mean, we realized pretty quick once we got to Dearborn, it's not like other cities where people are just hanging out and there's main strips and stuff.
That's
It's not
yeah.
like that, dude.
I know he's got to go, but
I've gotta go.
That is another interesting thing. There wasn't a lot of hanging out going on.
No,
Yeah.
no, dude, because they don't hang out at bars. They hang out at hookah lounges, but and apparently strip clubs.
Yeah, well.
All right, Gary, you want people to look you up on social media or anything?
Yeah, look me up on social media. It's gonna be Street Gonzo on YouTube and on Instagram, and yeah, I've got a documentary about the power grid in Puerto Rico coming out, exposing the corruption down there surrounding $2 billion that Wall Street lawyers funneled out of Puerto Rican taxpayers' pockets into the bank accounts of law firms in New York, and it's insane.
You're gonna have a price on your head when that comes out, dude.
Yeah, I've had, dude, when we were down there, this older guy we were talking to, he built surfboards for the Olympics, actually. He's a really cool guy. He said, "You're really risky." And I was like, "What? What do you mean?" I'm just talking to people about the electricity, it's not that big of a deal. And he was like, "Oh, yeah, no, the government will put you in jail. They'll kill you." And I was like, "Oh, shit.
Chill ass surfboard, dude, predicting your demise.
Yeah, I might go back, depending on how...
Back to the scene of the crime, we always do.
Oh, yeah, there's also... I took a shit in the street.
Yeah, you did do that too.
I had... look, dude, I had bed bugs, and I had pneumonia, and I was also sicker than fuck the whole time. So I was pretty much just like... It's funny. I was miserable for the first few days because I was so sick.
It is the comic relief of the documentary is Gary's bed bug, his diarrhea. Disaster follows you everywhere you go, Gary. And you also stole that jacket. All right. We'll share more about how you can support the documentary, but thank you all for watching. We love you. We'll see you next time.
So what did y'all find?